Hey YouTube, we're back with part 14 of the How to Build a Pedal in 2 weeks. We're populating the first row of resistors. We got 3 done, so I'm looking for a 10K. Alright, I got my partner here who is... Say hi, Gapti.
Hello.
Gapti is going through the resistors, and we've got them all pulled now, because we kind of made our own bomb off of just reading the PCB. The PCB is labeled. So we've got the PDF open. The PDF is for a different version of this PCB. And right off the bat, she went into the other room to pull parts that we didn't have, which this is all kind of confusing because, like I said, I pulled up the PDF off the internet and we wrote a parts list or a bill of materials or a BOM off of that. And of course, when I actually went to start building it, the PCB was different. And I contacted the guy and he's like, that's the old version. So you can either build it, mind you, I changed some stuff, or you could order a new PCB. And I said, well, they're listed as out of stock. What is this? 100. 100K?
Yep.
So yeah, he didn't have them in for a very, very long time. And this was a birthday present for my daughter, who she loves this band, Electric Wizard. This pedal is a clone of a Boss FZ2, the Boss Fuzz 2. And that's the same pedal. That's the sound for a lot of these stoner doom bands. And it's actually what it is. It's a very good clone of the 7 transistor Super Fuzz. Not the Marshall Super Fuzz, but a Univox Super Fuzz. And this particular circuit uses...
27K.
Thank you very much. This circuit does not use 7 transistors. It uses 3 dual op amps. JRC 4558, which I have the NJM ones, which everyone says, they suck! Which they don't. They're exactly the same. They sound identical. People say that because they want to value their old pedal. If they've got an original, what makes it special? Well, if it's got some magical chip. Which the thing about magical chips is there are chips that have some mojo or special properties. But those are very, very rare, and see, now I'm talking and I did something that I'm regretting. It's set up for very tiny, tiny resistors. I don't know if he's using 1/8 of a watt resistors. But the last one that I put in is kind of in the way of where a transistor is going to sit. This is a tight PCB. Man, I'm talking and talking. I'm not even looking. This whole row of resistors that I put in is like almost touching. I bend them back a little bit. Like I said, almost touching. Now, what we noticed... Like, I had talked to the owner of the company, the guy who designs these PCBs, and he said, oh yeah, this is a 10K?
Yeah.
He said, yeah, there's some differences on that. And what he meant by that is, as he changed the circuit, the PCB, to update it, he also eliminated some of the hard-to-find part values. This one in particular had some, man, I really don't like this. it's not going to look very pretty with the resistors all squonking around every which way. And of course the one that I just put in, it bent the wrong way as far as which way I needed it to bend. So yeah, one of the things was there was a resistor with a value of a 2K9, which would be a 2.9K resistor, and that's an oddball value resistor. We don't have that. And I was like, why didn't, and of course it's because it wasn't on there. On the new version, he realized that the fact is, with a lot of these circuits, you can substitute wrong value parts and it'll still come out doing the same thing. There's a 30% leeway when you're building these things. Now, that's not always true.
That's a 100.
It may affect the circuit. It may sound different if you're going by this hand grenade policy, this real rough, like, well, the part's only got to be within 30% of spec, and every component that you throw in there is 30% off. It's gonna sound different. Or if it's a digital thing, that's not really going to be a desirable thing. But what I'm saying is, in a pinch, as you see, like here, I got all upset with this 292K crap. I right away, what did I say?
I don't know.
3.1.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, and we don't.
3.3. So instead of a 2.9, we got a 3.3K, and that's what we're going to be using. You can see here, I'm not using flux today. I don't really need to. This is a clean PCB. The solder's sticking really well. When I do the Fuji's, the integrated circuit chip sockets, I'll probably use a little bit of flux on that. So that's row 1. I got another 10K?
Yeah, I think you should have one more.
Yeah. How many was that? Can you count them up?
How many resistors?
Did I just do? Yeah.
9. That's the 9th one.
So here we go, cutting in the 9th resistor. I'm going to flip-flop this one to the other side. How you want to do it, again, see, I'm talking like I'm an expert. What most people do is they'll start with the resistors, then they'll do the diodes, which are basically the same size. This is all about size. You go low to high. Now, one of the really important things when you're doing this is demons. Demons are what we call the excess leads. I just dropped a demon. And this is why I like using the black board. The demons are when you get these parts.
Row 2?
Row 2. 10K. When you get these parts, there's like an inch and a quarter of lead or extra wire, and it's not like paperclip thick. It's thinner. It depends on what you're working with. What gauge of resistor? What it's rated for. Now, the funny thing, funny, a couple years back, I had this sharp pain in my foot. I was at my ex-singer's house. He had caught his second old lady cheating on him, and I was over there helping him after he he was going on the electronic dating, going for his third old lady. And she had taken everything, all of the lamps. There was nothing in there. And of course, all of his computers were wrecked. So I was there to rebuild his computers and help him just, you know, try to get some general housework done. And it got dark and we couldn't see because he didn't have any lamp. And I'm working, and all of a sudden something stabbed me in the foot like this incredible pain. And his carpet was really nasty. Like it smelled in there really, really bad, like a bar, like horrible cigarette smell, and then booze, like spilled beer, old beer stench.
Okay, do you want the diodes, or do you want the next?
Diodes, yeah. So, yeah, this unbelievable sharp pain on the pad of my heel on the left, on the outside. And I finally went and got it checked out. And I had to get an x-ray. And then the doctor tried to, was going to remove it. And so I went in there, and then she started looking at it, and she said, I can't do this. And so I had to go in, and what did they do? Put me under?
Yeah, I think so.
I had to go in, and they fully knocked me out and did this surgical procedure. And guess what was in my foot? You guessed it, a demon. It was one of these it was a capacitor end. And I felt so much relief because I had this thing in my foot. It was always poking me. It was way in there. Huge piece of steel. And I'm guessing it was in my shoe that day, and it punctured me that day when I was at my friend's. And he had this giant shag carpet that was matted with dog hair and liquor. And I was, ow. And then I took my foot off. I remember I was barefoot at his house. And it was black. There was no light. We didn't have any light. So I couldn't look at it or anything. So it was just this unbelievable thing. Like this horrible harlot got me. I got demon from being friends with this guy who just chooses the worst possible women in several counties. So he's with the new one. I guess she has a meth or speed, coke, crack, some kind of running into the John every 15 minutes. Usually that's cocaine or I don't know. It's not heroin. But yeah, I haven't. I don't have time for that guy anymore. But the surgical procedure to remove the demon was not fun. That sucked. That really sucked. So the point is, when you're doing this, you want to grab the demons before you snip. You don't want to be this real cocky snipping them and have them flying all around like, oh yeah, I'm so cool building my pedal. And yeah, this is just going to be a real lot of the same thing. So I think I'm going to let you guys go until we're done with the resistors, and we'll come back when we're starting to do some capacitors. So this has been building a pedal in 2 months. It's the FZ2, the clone of the Univox Super Fuzz that runs off of, there's 4 BC549 transistors and then 3 JRC 4558. I got the NJMs, same chip. All right, we'll see you guys soon, and thanks so much for joining me.